trouble, 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 trouble.
And thanks once again for joining me for another video, Pro Wrestling Unleashed. This is Bill Mack here. Glad you folks could click on this video as we are coming up on the upcoming Impact Wrestling CrossRoads special on Poptv this coming Thursday. We have 4 matches with 5 championship titles on the line, and we also have another matchup which we will get into and get an update on, as we've seen these good stories leading up to this special, and we'll just get right into the matches themselves. We're going to begin. The first matchup will be for the Impact Knockouts Championship. Of course, your champion, Laura Van Ness, taking on Allie. These two women have had a strained, whatever you want to call it, friendship, relationship, whatever, ever since last year. As we remember, Braxton Sutter was set to marry Laura Van Ness, but he ended up leaving her and choosing Allie at the altar, which this in turn sent Laura Van Ness overboard, and she just flipped out. And for the past year, she has just totally went out. For the longest time, for almost close to a year, she didn't take the wedding dress off. The lipstick and everything was still on. The makeup, the hair, everything. She was termed then a hot mess. And of course, the last few weeks we've seen her, after Allie sending messages and being very secretive and trying to attack, Allie from behind, and we see Allie get the best of her week before last, and this past week is on Impact. We saw, Laura Van Ness try to have a commitment ceremony with the Impact Knockouts Championship. Of course, Allie got the best of Laura Van Ness and attacking her from behind, dressed up as a cameraman in all black. This looks to be a good matchup, as I can see Allie taking the championship. I mean, Laura Van Ness has had it for a while. She's had some decent matches, some squash matches, but I feel, as in my first opinion of this, that Allie's going to take the Knockouts Championship from Laura Van Ness in this matchup. It's high time for Allie to have. Allie's worked hard. Allie's a good wrestler. She's wrestled in other promotions. She has shown that she has the ability to do it. In Impact, I think it's time for them to pull the gun and let them allow Allie to get this. And I just literally think Allie's going to end up taking the Impact Knockouts Championship. So I'm going with Allie to for the first title change of the night. Up next, this is for the Impact Tag Team Championship matchup. This is the Tag Team Champions LAX taking on, of course, the Cult of Lee. This includes Caleb Conley and Trevor Lee. These guys have been feuding with LAX for the past month. They have made nothing but make fun of LAX, nothing but try to embarrass LAX. And as we seen last week, LAX got the last laugh as they threw both Caleb Conley and Trevor Lee into the pool. I think this has been a good feud because you've got the seriousness of LAX and Conan. Of course, they take everything seriously. You've got the joking ability and nothing but fun and laughing with both the Cult of Lee. Both Caleb Conley and Trevor Lee have done nothing but make this very lighthearted and very fun on their behalf, joking and mocking LAX, which when you do that, when you go and mock a team that is serious as LAX, as serious as a team that has the numbers, you have to tread softly on their ground, because they will come back. And like I've always stated in videos, numbers do count. Numbers do matter when it comes to matches. So I think that LAX is going to retain the Tag Team Championships. Like I said, there should be no reason that Caleb Conley, even though they did get a win, mind you, a couple weeks back, they did get a win over LAX, but I don't see with the numbers, I don't see Cult of Lee taking the titles just yet from LAX. They're a good, formidable tag team. I just don't see Cult of Lee pinning LAX, getting those championships just yet. So I'm sticking with LAX to retain the Impact Wrestling Tag Team Championships. Moving on to the next matchup. This is a title for title matchup. This has been a good feud here lately. We see the X Division champion Ishimori, which he had won it a few weeks back, taking on the newly crowned as well grand champion Matt Sydal. Remember, he defeated EC3. Remember, Matt Sydal has gained a spiritual guru, which has helped the mindset because as of late, everyone has mocked Matt Sydal, called him a choke artist, saying, well, you get to the big matches, but you end up choking. We've seen ever since he's had this spiritual guru, his mindset has changed. He's become more focused. He's become more goal driven, and his personality has gotten a whole lot more serious and wants people to take him serious this time. But of course, Ishimori last week challenged him and said, "Look, we're going to make this a title for title matchup." And I'm just prove to everyone when I take both titles back home to Japan that you're nothing but a choke artist. So this infuriates Sydal. So we're going to see a champion versus champion matchup, and I'm going to say that Matt Sydal is going to win the X Division Championship from Ishimori. I just see the momentum train. Matt Sydal, he's taking on that role of being an efficient heel, which is something I don't think I've ever heard of Matt Sydal, no matter where he's been, of being a heel. But with this new spiritual guru, his new change in attitude and personality and being more goal driven to become a double champion has really said something. It shows me that he's probably willing to go at any and all lengths and able to get the gold that he so richly desires to have. So I'm going to pick the grand champion Matt Sydal becoming a double champion by defeating the X Division champion Ishimori. So Matt Sydal is my choice in that matchup. Last but not least, we have the title matchup, the main event title matchup for the Impact Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. Of course, we have the champion of Austin Aries taking on the number one contender of Johnny Impact. Austin hasn't been back all that long. We see that he came back and defeated Eli Drake not once but twice. We've seen Johnny Impact since his arrival in Impact Wrestling. He has tried to claw his way to the top. He's had some memorable matches, number one contenders match. He's done what it's taken for him to become the Impact Wrestling champion. But I think Austin's got something hidden up his sleeve. I somehow feel like Austin's going to end up retaining the Impact Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. I feel like it's going to be a good match. These two guys, of course, can put on a good match when allowed to. But I feel in my heart that Austin's going to somehow manage to pull it out. He's going to manage to defeat Johnny Impact for that number one championship. And then after this match, we'll see where where we go at from there. But my pick will be for Austin Aries to retain. So I have at least three retaining and one title changing hands. So that's my choices here. And not to mention, last but not least, we're also a matchup that was scheduled for CrossRoads was Lashley and Eddie Edwards taking on OVE. Now we had that unfortunate accident last week as Sami Callihan was supposed to hit a spot to where he was to hit the chair was placed on top of Eddie Edwards. He was supposed to take the bat, hit the chair, and it was supposed to go down into Eddie Edwards. But what happened was the chair itself started to slip. And whenever Sami Callihan went to hit the seat of the chair, the bat ricocheted off the chair and hit Eddie Edwards. What it did was it broke his eye socket, his orbital, fractured it or whatever, his right orbital eye socket, and he, immediately we didn't see at the end of Impact that didn't focus on him. It focused on what was going on in the back, but you could tell and read by the spoilers that what happened a few weeks ago, that he did indeed get busted open. They took him to the back and ended up sending him to the hospital. Of course, Eddie Edwards posted a few pictures on Instagram showing of his eye. He did an interview with TMC. Now, it says here that as an update, Impact Wrestling has learned that Eddie will not be cleared in time for CrossRoads on Thursday, so he has been pulled from the match. So it looks like Lashley will be taken against the whole group of OVE. So we know that by this that Sammy's going to be lurking around outside somewhere while we see the Chris brothers taking on Lashley 2-on-1. So essentially, the odds have gotten worse for Lashley, as it will be most likely a 3-on-1. But Lashley, knowing Lashley, he was interviewed by Impact Wrestling. Told him, he said, look, he has no problem in entering this match alone. He says that he is the walking Armageddon, and if he has to, he'll take care of OVE by himself. So, they asked him, said, Sami Callihan will be outside. And Lashley ended up saying that he'll have to keep his head on a swivel, that he'll be ready for all three members at CrossRoads on Thursday night. So he knows, and when they say head on a swivel, sounds like something Josh Matthews would say, because Josh Matthews is always on every broadcast talking about, you got to keep your head on a swivel, which is becoming more or less his power phrase. But Lashley's going to have to keep his eyes open, and he's going to have to grow an extra set of eyes in the back of his head, because once LOVE gets in trouble or gets down, you know that Sammy's going to be lurking around trying to cause any distractions and cause problems for Lashley, as they have tried before. Remember, over the past few weeks, we've seen Lashley get attacked by OVE, thrown in the back of a car. We've seen Eddie Edwards, come back and jump in there to help Lashley, even though those two they've had a storied history together in fighting each other. They decided that they both had a common enemy with OVE. They pulled together a tag team, and we see now that basically Eddie Edwards is out of it, and it looks like Lashley's going to go now. While we see Lashley take that to heart, we see Eddie Edwards, and they talk to Eddie, and Eddie tells them that, he said, look, he said he hates that he can't fight. He's optimistic about his return. He said, look, I'll be back. I'll be back at 100%, and I'll be ready to get revenge on Sami Callihan. So that's what's in the storyline. But what word has it is Eddie was on his way out when his contract ended. Now, how that's going to play, whether this revenge is going to happen, whether he's going to be able to get back before the contract ends or what, it remains to be seen. But if it does, we know Sami Callihan is going to have a time on his hands with Eddie Edwards. So I'm looking forward to this special on Poptv from Impact CrossRoads. I'm looking for a good lead up into the April pay-per-view, which is a new pay-per-view called Redemption, to see what happens there. But as of CrossRoads, I think it's going to be a good special for Impact. Like I said, 4 matches, 5 titles on the line. Another good matchup with Lashley, a handicap match. It remains to be seen how he's going to handle that. And all we can do is hope that he's going to perform well, and that he'll try to hold his own again, the best that he can against OVE. So that's my results. That's my opinions and thoughts of the CrossRoads special from Impact Wrestling coming up this Thursday. If you like this video, like it, share it, comment on it. And if you're not a subscriber of my channel, feel free to subscribe to my channel, share it with other wrestling fans, and make sure that they see the video and that they subscribe as well if they want to for more wrestling content. So thanks once again, everyone. Like I said, you can follow me on social media. My links are below in the description. I hope everyone has a great day. And I may put out a results video. It just remains to be seen. But if it do, that'll be the next video I put out. And if not, we'll put out the next video soon. So until next time, everyone take care. This is Bill Mack with Pro Wrestling Unleashed saying, take it easy.
Yeah.